Hello, my name's John Keslick, and I'm at a site where we have a monumental oak tree that was discovered in the midst of this wooded area or small ecosystem. We're going to take a walk back in and go over some of the treatments that we just performed based on tree biology with respect to the health of the system, including the associates, wildlife, and things of that nature. So, talk to you in a minute. Okay, as we go back in, we find a small young oak tree that we made a flush cut with a chainsaw, which isn't that good for the individual tree, but it's good for small wildlife, and it's an acceptable treatment on some trees in the group situation. This hopefully will create a cavity with the help of its associates to support small wildlife. Hopefully we'll have a cavity in the future, and this will create a home for small wildlife. We made several flush cuts in this wooded area to do just that, to try to create future desired conditions for small wildlife. This is not a treatment that you would do in front of Mrs. Jones's house on a single tree, or we wouldn't do this to the monumental tree that we're working with, but this does help small wildlife. And here we have our specimen, model specimen. We have a mature or over mature white oak tree that the crown, the top was blown out or what have you. We did make a smooth cut on the top for aesthetics. I was up there, and when we got here, this tree had a reasonable amount of woody debris, fallen branches, and the top leaning up against the trunk, which in certain cases poses a high risk for children or what have you that may be playing back in and near it. So what we did was we removed the leaning materials. We cut them up in 4-foot lengths, and we gave them soil contact. There's many benefits to that, which I'll go over in a minute. It's a beautiful sunny day in southeastern Pennsylvania. Here we have the monumental white oak tree that has beautiful trunk flares. We used a shigometer, and we tested the cambium electrical resistance at about breast height. We found out I have a limited amount of results at this time, but in the past it was relatively had a little bit more resistance than several other trees that were white oak that I had tested at this time of year during the resting period. Also, the rear side of the tree, if you look up, you'll see most of the weight is out to this right side. And in order for this to mechanically continue to be standing, you need to have a good woody root system on the back side of a lean for support, mechanically speaking. The shigometer did detect that many of these trunk flares on the back side of the weight of this tree did have a reasonably lower CER, which is the cambium electrical resistance, compared to the back side of the lean. And basically what that means to me is that is an indicator that things could be going pretty well on that side of the tree for support. When those numbers start to increase as resistance increases, I find that that could be also an indicator that there is some problems with those woody roots, because when the energy reserves are low on the woody roots, secondary agents like decay fungi and other cleanup crew members will come in and start to decompose the woody roots often. So this tree had pretty good signs for that. Now over here, this is the woody debris that was leaning up against the tree that we had given soil contact. Now there's many benefits of this wood. One of the biggest benefits is with soil contact, it will eventually become in the form of a sponge and will take on moisture and hold water as a water reservoir for trees and plants during dry times. This wood is also the substrate for the base of the